Hi, everybody. It's the 600th episode, and it is complete and utter anarchy here. We are at Lindsay and Nolan's house. Lindsay and Nolan are on their way back from a football game, but they have hit traffic. So Steve is staffing the baby right now. That's why you can still hear things because little Forbes is not happy. I think he wanted to be on the air for some reason, and so it's a little bit nuts right here. There's Forbes. Here, go ahead and unmute, Steve. We'll get your picture up here. All right, there's Forbes.
Hey, everyone.
Oh, he's not yelling.
No, he's having. I think his hearing your voice calmed him down.
Oh, that's what it was. Hi, Forbes. All right. Well, Steve is on baby
all
duty.
the NosillaCastaways.
Show him those rolls.
All right, I'm going to go on mute here for your safety.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's see. We're back to me. The first thing I'd like to point out attention to you is the poster that George made commemorating our 600th episode. Now, I'm going to mention this in the show, of course, but I'd like you to notice that he put 600 in the Google colors. I think he's making a point here. I think he's just sneaking in a little point. So I thought that was pretty funny. I just realized as I went to set up that I did not bring a second monitor. So we're going to have some fun here where I try to manage about 14 windows and in an unfamiliar location here while also managing to produce the show. So let me close a couple of things down here. Let's see, we're watching Lindsay's arrival here in 8 minutes, so that will be handy. Let's see, I don't need that open. Got to make sure I've got everything ready to do the show here. Let's see, I don't think I ever put an ending. There I go. And there we go. Luckily, thank goodness for text expander, right? Okay, let's I'm gonna do a little test recording, see if you guys can hear this. I think my mic volume is too low, and I'm gonna have to just climb up on this mic when I do this recording, but let's give it a try here. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. All right, let me know. Oh, you did send a contribution. Where? How? Because I didn't get anything from anybody. I wonder if you sent it in mail, and that isn't what I checked. I checked around. I didn't get anything from anybody. Let's see what I got here. I'm checking my mail. Is that the way you sent it? Oh, there it is. All right, let me make sure nobody else did. All right. Oh. All right. So let's see. I don't know. Let's see. I should be able to hang on. Let's see. Let me open that in preview and let me go back to the Google Hangout. I am going to share my screen, but I'm going to share an application window and we'll share preview. And there is Kevin's poster from George for the, that's actually an even better view. You can see Kevin in the close up of the poster from George. Don't you think those look like Google colors though? I do. All right, let me stop sharing there for a minute. Let's see, bring that one down. All right, I don't think I need my mail right now. All right, there we go. Well, let's see, I haven't taken a roll call yet. Let's see. Steve, I'm assuming that in this anarchy, you actually have started Alpha Geek Radio, hopefully. We'll find out in a minute. We'll take roll here. We've got Steve and Kevin and Dan. And I think that's Doug Bender and Denise, George, Jino Choi, Dorothy, John, Nuris, and Sandy. We waited a week just for Sandy, right? Did you like your little shout out last time? All right, one question. I didn't see. Could you guys hear? Could you hear my recording back? Could you hear playback when I played that, or did I even remember to play it back? I will play it back again right now to see if you guys can hear it. All right. Did you guys hear that? Play it again. Yeah, I think I hadn't played it the first time, so that's probably what the problem was. No, you can't hear it. Oh, shoot. Okay, what have I messed up? Okay, Amadeus Pro, preferences, output. Let's see what output is. Output is set to headphones. Well, that's probably why. Where should output go? How about to hang out on air input? I bet that's it. Here we go. Let's try this again. Oh, there it is. And I can't hear it. Well, you know what? We're going to end up fooling around long enough that Lindsay and Nolan will get home because I bet you can hear this. Actually, nope, nobody can hear it. Nobody can hear it. So that's good. What have I messed up? Let me go back to Audio Hijack and bring that window back up. Live show with loop back. Okay, the audio is going to pass through. Let's see what loopback thinks it's doing. Hang on, an error input should be Amadeus Pro and the Shure MVI. That is on. And let's see if I monitor that there. See if I can hear it now. And you guys cannot hear that, I believe. A second. If I had chat on my iPad, that would have helped, but I have to cover that up every time I check this. Let me pop this up here. Oh, don't be silly. All right, what have we done? In honor of sausage, we have the sausage being made right here. Okay, I've got the output from Audio Hijack is set to hang out on air input. So Amadeus Pro and Shure oh, wait a minute. You shouldn't be able to hear me at all. I wonder if you hear me twice now. You guys hear me twice? Pass through. You don't. We hear nothing but the live audio. And why is that? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Dear. Okay, we're gonna have to go back over to the live. Okay, you only hear me once, so I guess that's good. Go to podfeed.com/live and look at the diagram one more time. See what I've messed up. So this is a different microphone than usual. Let's see. Oh, live show setup is what I want. Okay, live show setup. What have I done? Okay, microphone, audio hijack, loopback, pass through going to Amadeus Pro. Amadeus Pro plus my microphone into Hang On Air input. That should be going back in there, and it's set like that. That is set that way. Let's see. Amadeus Pro input and output. Let's double check that. I should have pass through as the input, and output should be headphones. That's how I have it. Pass through and output should be headphones. Okay. It should be pass through, output should be headphones. It should be controlled by loopback. It's pass through. And then hang on, an error input should be Amadeus Pro my microphone. Let's double check and see if what the Hang On Air thinks the input is. There it is. There it is. I found it. Okay. This has probably wrecked everything. Oh, goody. I think Lindsay's home. Okay, one more time. Let's try this playback. I think we'll be ready to go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at Podfeed. So now you can hear it, but now I hear everything. So I've got one more thing to fix. In loopback, I need to uncheck that monitor, and I think we're okay. Now I think we'll be good. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. Yeah, I don't know why the playback is so quiet, guys. I actually don't think I'm going to be able to figure that out, but I suspect that Lindsay and Nolan are home, and I wonder whether Steve is going to go talk to them probably. So I will entertain you here, just showing the show, but heard that good. Oh, Terry. Wait, that was hot? I thought it was too quiet. Are you guys saying it's loud? Oh, that's interesting. So, I cranked my voice up. So really, it's too loud. That's great. So I cranked my voice up, but you should be hearing it too loud always, not just in playback. Well, let me turn this off, put that back at 100%, and I will try this one more time. Let me do another recording. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. God, I'm having to jump on that mic, though. Hi, this is Allison. No, that's not going to work. The audio recording has to beat you guys, I'm afraid. I'm going to have to crank this up. So I don't quite know why that's doing that. But I think Lindsay and Nolan are home, which is good. So maybe they'll go for a walk or something. NC app save. Okay, I'm saving the file. All right. Mom's home, dad's home, so that's good. If you're 7, the playback is a 9. Okay, that's not too bad. The live voice, okay. Recording voice sounds louder. Wow, the recording voice sound is really, really low here. So, all right. Well, I am now simply vamping. I'm not recording yet, guys. I can hear them being all quiet. So, okay. All right. I can hear them all tiptoeing around. I'm not recording yet, guys. So let's see. I should try to find my show notes and see what I'm going to actually be talking about. Let's go ahead. Screamish Baby Forbes. Yeah, I don't know what he's so upset about. I think he wanted to be on the air. Every time we put him on the air, he is perfectly happy. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start doing a little bit of recording, or we're going to be here all night. Let's go ahead and start up here. All right, we'll start right there. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday. Okay, we're not even going to do that right. I got a weird notification right while I was talking that looked like it had just started Alpha Geek Radio. Okay, here we go. Sit way up on this. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, November 13th, and this is show number 600. Woohoo! 600 episodes. Well, it's not as exciting as 100, or nowhere near as cool as it was at 500, but hey, 600 is pretty fun too, right? Well, George from Tulsa had a really cute poster made to commemorate the show, but I think he secretly snuck in an editorial comment. You see, it's a picture of the meat grinder that Kevin sent to us in honor of how often the live chat room gets to see the sausage get made. And because grinding out of the sausage is the number 600. But the 600 and the resulting grindy bits are definitely in the Google color scheme. Now, I am sure that he did this on purpose because he's always talking over in our Google Hangout on air about we should be using Chromebooks and all this stuff. So I think it was his secret way of pushing the Google agenda. That's what it is. I do also want to call out Chris, also known as Cal Mickey on Twitter and in the live chat room. I look back at show number 300, and in the comments he said, just listen to number 300 and congrats. I plan to be listening to the promised next 300 shows, which will take you to November 2016. Well, technically he said, let's see, he did say we got, when you guys use my name, I notice it and I stop being able to look. Oh, they're baby block primary colors. Okay. This is still too quiet. Listen to number 300 and congrats. I plan to be listening to the promised next 300 shows, which will take you to November 2016. Hi there.
Dare we bring out a happy baby?
Oh, did mom figure out the happy position? Here you go. Let's see. You'll be able to see what you look like. Here you go. Here's Forbes.
Here's a happy baby.
Only mom knows how to do it. I don't know why dad couldn't do that.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It was only like 45 straight minutes.
Oh, no.
The problem was I gave him a nap all afternoon while I walked him. That was my big mistake.
Well, we have a fist in the mouth, and he's happy now.
Nice drooling. All right.
Hey, by the way, Al.
Yeah.
Your playback is very hot.
Yeah, we already talked about this.
Okay, I haven't been here. I haven't heard any of this.
Yeah, the playback is hot, and yet the playback is really, really, really quiet as it's recorded. So
really?
I don't know why that is, and I got tired of trying to fix it. So I'm hoping Auphonic Leveler will fix that.
Okay.
Cheers. What else can possibly go wrong? All right. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, let me listen to this. Which will take you to November 2016. 2016, which will take you to November 2016. Well, okay. I do also want to call out Chris, also known as Cal Mickey on Twitter and in the live chat room. Oh, she only kept him quiet for a minute. He's screaming again. He is not happy. Let me get rid of that. Okay. Where was I? I looked back at show number 300, and in the comments, he said, just listen to number 300 and congrats. I plan to be listening to the promised next 300 shows, which will take you to November 20th, 2016. Well, even waiting a week, we got to 600 a week ahead of schedule. So either Chris's math was wrong or I snuck in an extra couple of shows. I'm not sure how that happened, but I sure hope Chris is still listening. I called him out on Twitter for it. By the way, George from Tulsa just said that those colors are not the Google colors. Those are baby block primary colors. All right, let's kick into the show here. I do want to tell you about this week's Chit Chat Across the Pond because it's very different from anything I've ever done before. This story took place on September 16th, 1945. On that date, a horrific typhoon hit the island of Okinawa, Japan during World War II. My father, Ensign John Paul Moorhead, was serving as chief engineer aboard the LST-965, and he was in that typhoon. He wrote a letter to his parents and my mother describing the harrowing experiences of living through that typhoon. Now, I thought about reading my father's letter aloud to you for Chit Chat Across the Pond, but it didn't sound right in my voice. I asked my dear friend and noted voiceover artist, Ron David, to read the letter to you instead. Now, you may recognize Ron's voice from Raise the Titanic on National Geographic and Wings on the Discovery Channel. He's one of those voices you've heard. You know who this guy is. Anyway, I'm so excited about this episode that I've decided to play it for you inside the NosillaCast, as well as it's in its separate feed in Chit Chat Across the Pond. If you've already heard it, you can just skip ahead 15 minutes from here. But before we read the letter, I'd like to give you a little bit of background. The ship on which my father served was an LST, which stands for Landing Ship Tank. LSTs were amphibious ships designed to bring cargo and troops to unimproved shorelines. Now, I remember my father explaining to me that the LSTs were never expected to last long enough to even come back home because they were designed and assembled in such a hurry that they weren't likely to survive very long. I read online when I was researching about the typhoon that the contracts for these LSTs were let to build the ships before a single test ship had ever even been completed. This is not the kind of ship you choose to be in a typhoon. Well, the typhoon you're about to hear my father describe reached winds of 150 miles per hour, beached 122 ships and small boats, sank 5 others, and killed or injured hundreds of American service personnel. Since this week is Veterans Day in the United States and Remembrance Day in Canada, I thought it would be an appropriate day to bring you this very special Chit Chat Across the Pond. Now, I've also included the full text of my father's letter in the blog post, along with a few snapshots of the ships that had run aground after the typhoon. If you want to know more, I've also included a zip file of 4 news articles my father kept that you can download. Okay, now, I really wish I knew why this audio was so low. Letter in the blog post and why you're hearing it so hot. Did we have this problem once before, and how did I fix it? You may know. Save. That is a great idea. I think I will. Because at the rate things are going wrong now, let's see. So, Dad, and we're going to put you out here. And this is going to be, if you think I'm loud, this playback is going to be about 9,000%. Okay. Clarify posting. I don't know. I've done so much to try to document this, and it still evades me at times. Okay. So here we go. Articles my father kept that you can download.
18 September 1945. Dear Mom and Dad, if I don't write now, I'll miss the feeling of this experience. It seems a million years ago that I wrote home. I'll start with our trip down from near Kobe to Nagasaki, Kyushu. We were about halfway there when storm signs started showing up. and we reversed course to run before a typhoon.
All right. I will let you guys listen to that yourselves later. This was
Oh, I thought you were going to go ahead and play it.
it's gonna be in the recording.
Oh, I see, but not play the whole thing.
No,
Yeah,
I've still got a whole lot of work to do here.
Oh, it's
And we
only
can-
5:20. Yeah, this may be a bit much for the live show.
Let's did they tie something around Forbes' mouth, or how'd they get him quiet?
I don't know. Lindsay's working miracles somehow.
Okay. All right. So next I want to read a post I didn't do from a long time ago. Actually, wow, now I've waited this long. I'm going to pick that one up later. Okay, remember. All right. I'm going to go straight to the printer is a lie. Well, I hope you guys like that. It's something I'd been planning to do for a very, very long time. Ron actually finished that many, many months ago, and I saved it up for just this week. So anyway, let's get back going into some more traditional tech stuff. Well, you know what? We live in amazing times, right? It's 2016, and I can do a FaceTime video call with my baby grandson 100 miles away while I'm out on a walk with my dog. My phone can take panorama pictures. I can turn my lights on and off when I'm not even home. One of my best friends lives in Ireland, and I get to talk to him a couple of times a week because of technology. I have access to all world knowledge through the internet. Guess what I can't do? Print inside my house. As you may remember, a while back, I got a new router. I got the Netgear Nighthawk X8. And one of the many things that excited me about this router was the ability to connect a printer via USB to allow wireless printing. I can hear many of you saying, but Allison, your Airport Extreme had a USB port to do the very same thing. Sure, it did. But I was not able to consistently print over wireless from the Airport Extreme. Never have been able to, through several Airport Extremes. A few more of you have been paying even more attention and are saying, but Allison, you have an HP D110 all-in-one printer that has Wi-Fi built in. Well, yes, it does. That's also true. But I couldn't ever get that to work consistently either. Now, note the word consistently. I can sometimes print, but it's the consistent thing I was actually looking for. Now, my good friend Pat Dengler tells me she skips around a house with a song in her heart, not only printing wirelessly, but scanning wirelessly. Personally, I think she hallucinates. I can't even consistently scan when the printer is direct attached via USB. Well, my hope was that the printer being plugged into this fancy pants Netgear router via USB and my Mac connected to the router over Ethernet would finally give me the printing nirvana I seek. Plus, it got the printer off my desk since the router's in a different room. Well, after my unintentional nuke and pave, thanks to Apple replacing 90% of my 2013 MacBook Pro, I had 63 items on my new Mac to-do list. I saved getting printing working until the very last of those 63 items because I knew it would be a complete and utter nightmare. Last week, it was finally time to stop procrastinating and get her done. I went into the printers and scanners preference pane and tapped the plus button to add my printer. It found 2 HP D110s on the network. Well, now that makes sense, right? Because the printer has its own Wi-Fi card and it's available over the network connection from the router. Well, I chose the version of the printer that actually identified the router by name in the printer configuration. I printed a page, saw the printer queue open up, saw it find the printer, saw the little progress bar go across, and boom, it was done. It was amazing. It worked flawlessly, except for the one tiny little detail that no paper with letters squirted on it, printed on it, squirted out of the printer. All right, how do you diagnose a problem when it doesn't error out? I mean, it was just all happy. It was like, yay, I printed. It just didn't actually print. Now, my first thought was that I needed to go to HP to get a driver. In the olden days, this was necessary. But I also knew that Apple eliminated this problem years ago, giving you the drivers for at least basic functionality inside macOS. I checked over at HP's support site, and sure enough, it said, no, you don't need any drivers. Then I thought maybe there was something I had to do with the Netgear router. I poked around a bit on their website and I found something to download that was supposed to enable network printing, only to find out I downloaded a Windows executable file. All right, toss that out. Then I tried to print over to the printer over its own Wi-Fi, but the behavior was identical. Did all the right things, pretending it printed, but nothing squirted out. After I did that, I thought maybe the two Wi-Fis were getting confused. I turned off the printer's Wi-Fi, but that didn't help. I unplugged the USB cable going into the from the router to the printer and just used the printer's built-in Wi-Fi, but that didn't work either. Now, that made no sense at all to me because I know I had used this printer before I moved it into the other room. Finally, in a fit of anger, I unplugged the printer from power and the router, and I dragged it into my office and I plopped it down on my chair. I plugged it into power. I plugged it directly into my Mac via USB, not even using a hub. I told the darn thing to print, and guess what happened? macOS asked me if I'd like to download the driver for this printer. Well, somewhere along the line, maybe in Sierra or perhaps in an earlier version of the OS, Apple had stopped installing every driver for every possible printer and only gives it to you if you plug it in over USB. Now, this is one of the dangers of only doing a new compave every 3 years is you forget what's changed. If I'd done that maybe once a year, I'd have known that I had to do that. So I dragged the printer back to the other room, I plugged it into the router, and I was finally able to print over the network. So then I thought, maybe I too could scan over the network like Pat. Nope. The scan tab is gone from within printers and scanners. All right. Well, that very day, Ian Douglas posted the exact same issue over at our Google Plus community. That's at podfeet.com/Google Plus. He's got 2 Macs that don't show the scan tab and one that does. I checked my 12-inch MacBook, and sure enough, even though it's running Sierra 2, it did have the scan tab. But that scan tab is a lie too, because on my MacBook where I do have the tab, it won't actually scan. When I tried to scan, it said I needed a driver. Okay, fine, give me the driver. Then it would get me to the waiting for scanner window, but no further. I did some more Googling and I found on an Apple support page that both printing and scanning is supported on my printer in Sierra. Then I found a forum discussion on HP's website that led to a link, that led to a link, that led to another Apple support article with a 631 megabyte HP printer driver download. And so I installed it. And now the scan tab is gone on my MacBook too now. So none of my Macs have the scanner tab. I do have one more bit of information since I wrote this up as a blog post is if I plug in wired, the scan tab comes back. So I got to tell you, the printer is a lie. All right.
All right. We have someone who would like to make an appearance.
Oh, who's that? Is it Tesla?
Can you see in the window there?
Sorry. I forgot. Yes.
Can you recognize it? It's a lurker outside the window.
Construction worker outside who took the baby. He's on the other side of the double pane windows, though.
Yeah. It's a little quieter out there.
This is good. He's out with the dogs. Okay, that's pretty funny.
We can't even hear him.
Oh, that's weird, Lindsay. I thought you were outside.
She's right here.
You're in the
here.
She's in the reflection in the window. It looks like she's outside with Forbes and Nolan.
No, Nolan and Forbes and the dogs are outside. Lindsay's inside. Oh, yeah, you do see the reflection, right?
That's pretty funny.
That's good, isn't it?
It just froze. There we go. Okay, that's pretty funny. All right. That was good stuff, Steve. Okay, he's gone on mute again. All right. I sure hope this audio comes out because that waveform is small. Actually, I could do that, I guess, but well, we'll see. All right. Where are we? We are at 17. Why is it only 17 minutes? I thought it would be farther along than that. That doesn't sound right. There we go. 23 minutes. There we go. So you've printed wirelessly from your phone. Yeah, I tried the phone too. The phone scanning didn't work. All right. Printer is a lie. Okay, what's next? Nope, not that one. 600. All right. Next is 3D Touch. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's put you away too. All right. Has anybody ever scanned wirelessly in this room, or is it just a hallucination by Pat? Okay, where did you go? There we go. Nope, that's not the one I want. did you go? Where did you go? 3D Touch.
So John asked a question. You said
that?
scanning. Did you mean printing?
No, at the end, I'm talking about scanning.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I can print now, but I can't scan it wirelessly. Different rooms, same printer. So is your husband. Sandy, you're taking the same hallucinogens that Pat's taken, I think. Okay, let's see. I got to think of what I'm going to say here. All right, here we go. If you've got an iPhone 6S or above, you have access to a technology called 3D Touch. Now, that's not to be confused with Force Touch on the newer MacBook trackpads. I think 3D Touch is one of those things Apple puts into devices that requires some effort to see if it has any value to you. When it was first introduced, apps had to be rewritten to give you information with 3D Touch. This means that if you tried it early on, you likely gave up on it as a silly gimmick. My goal in this article that I'm talking to you about is to reveal how useful it actually is now. Hopefully, this will convince you to give it another try. And if you don't have a 6S or above, maybe you'll have some renewed excitement about the newer models. We'll judge at the end whether I succeed. First of all, let's try to define 3D Touch. You know how you press and hold to get the icons to jiggle so that you can move them around or delete them? Well, once you have 3D Touch, it's really hard to get into that wiggly jiggly mode. When you press and hold lightly, the icon highlights and all the others get blurry, but the little X doesn't come up and none of them jiggle. Press harder and you'll activate 3D Touch. You know you're in 3D Touch because you'll get some haptic feedback along with a pop-up over a nice light gray background. Maybe I'm unskilled and uncreative on how to do it, but for the life of me, I cannot delete or move apps anymore. Oh well, 3D Touch is the new hotness, so that's cool. Now, I have 158 apps on my iPhone 7 Plus, and because I'm a giver, I took one for the team and I tested 3D Touch on every single one of them. Now, if an app doesn't have 3D Touch support, you simply get the option to share the app to your pals. Lucky for you, only 62 of my 158 apps had 3D Touch support because I'm going to start telling you about all of them. Let's take a look at what 3D Touch can do. I'm going to stop because this is not the latest version. Okay, hang on.
Alistair just joined us.
Alistair, oh, how you doing? What a freaky day for you.
Yeah, he said it was the worst in the 47 years that he's experienced quakes.
Been around? Yeah, it was a 7.8, Steve.
Yeah.
That's
tough.
That's really strong. Okay. See if I've got the right version now.
So I assume, Alistair, you're still in Wellington or were during the quake. Is that correct? Let me type that so he gets it faster.
Yeah. And I'm going to start recording again.
Let me mute.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Apple Photos lets you choose to jump right to your most recent photos, your favorites, or those from 1 year ago. That last one is kind of weird, but it's part of Apple's strategy to reveal fun and interesting albums. Speaking of fun, Photos in 3D Touch also showed me an album called Together. That was an album of all photos of Steve and me together. It was interesting that they figured out who I wanted to be with. Another album it revealed was called On the Water, which you might expect were water photos. The weirdest one that revealed to me, again, in 3D Touch, like I needed this right at my fingertips, it was very specifically November 25th and 26th of 2010. I don't know why those two dates were really important, but I don't know. Apple Photos thought I needed that right at my fingertips. And they also included one called Best of the Year. It was kind of an eclectic set, don't you think? And of course, I pressed them and I lost a bunch of time enjoying my photos, which I suppose is the point. I'm not sure those things were things I needed at my immediate fingertips, though. Messages seems much more in tune with the immediate need. 3D Touch reveals new message or a list of the 3 most recent people you've messaged. That seemed pretty darn useful. Calendar is just as useful because it gives you an instant glance at your upcoming calendar events and a button to add a new event. Quick and easy. Now, I find the App Store one of the most annoying apps I can't live without on my iPhone. I always want to go right into search. Well, with 3D Touch, you can jump straight into search. You can also redeem a gift card, which is pretty silly to have so easily available because how often does that happen? I don't think that's something you need right away, but it is often difficult to find out where redeem a gift card is, so maybe that's handy. It also lets you jump to purchased items, which could also be handy. Now, I'm definitely going to use 3D Touch on the phone itself. It immediately presents your first 4 favorites, so I can instantly talk to Steve, Lindsay, Kyle, or a local pizza parlor. I can do that very quickly. You can also create a new contact, and if you forget who you are, there's a Show My Info button. Another app that I love and yet irritates the daylights out of me is the built-in camera app. I'm sure you have the same problems as me. You open the camera, and no matter what you want to do with it, it's set to something else. Want to do a video? It'll be on slow-mo. Want to take a regular photo? It's set to the selfie camera. You're with me on this, right? Well, with 3D Touch, you can jump right to take selfie, record video, record slow-mo, or take a regular photo. Once I found this option in the camera app, 3D Touch became my new best friend. Apple Maps has some functions, but they're really kind of dumb. In my test, at least, it gives me an option to mark my location, send my location, and search nearby. Certainly nothing to get too excited about. Google Maps was slightly more useful with 3D Touch. It showed me options for directions to home and work. Waze does even more. Along with drive home and work, it realized I don't have a work address identified, and it offered to add one for me. I respectfully declined, but it was a nice offer. Waze also lets you search addresses and send your location. In the last few days, Steve and I did quite a bit of driving, and being able to just pop right to drive home within Waze with 3D Touch was really efficient. Another app that's great for sending your location is called Glimpse. We've talked about it a few times here. It lets you send an email or text to people with a defined destination so they know when you're going to arrive. They can see you get stuck in traffic and make appropriate plans. A recent enhancement was the ability to save favorite people and associated locations. With 3D Touch now, I can press on Glimpse and instantly tell Lindsay, Nancy, Jennifer, and Merle that I'm on my way. That's the 4 people I drive to the most. One of the dangers of Facebook is that you get sucked into it, and 3D Touch will only make this worse. You can jump immediately to write a post, upload a photo or video, or take a photo or video. If you're going to get sucked into Facebook anyway, I guess doing it efficiently is a good thing. Well, I'm a huge fan of the messaging app Telegram. With 3D Touch, I can bother the top 3 people I talk to the most because they're revealed to me automatically with 3D Touch. Or I can start a new message to someone else. Now, I'm skipping apps that don't have enough in them to be interesting, but I have to call out Apple themselves for the dumbest 3D Touch. If you use it on the Apple Watch app, your only option is to pair an Apple Watch. Seriously, you do that, once, maybe twice a year? I suppose if you have a gold, a ceramic, and a play Apple Watch, maybe you need to flip back and forth between them. But for normal people, I think this is just silliness. Now, I'm an exercise fanatic, so I love the Activity app on iOS. Nothing better than watching those little rings go around. With 3D Touch, you can send your activity rings to a friend, but it's kind of lame. It doesn't show you the goal or how many calories or how many minutes of exercise. It just shows the rings. And like if they're already closed, they're already closed. It's kind of silly. But you can also hop right into sharing or workouts or history. I suppose that could save maybe one tap, but it's probably not something I think I'm going to need to do often because it's pretty easy to navigate in the app. 1Password lets you add a new password, jump right to favorites, or right into search, which is probably the most valuable thing in there for me. Pocket Cast is my podcatcher of choice on the iPhone. They've implemented 3D Touch in there as well. I'm not sure all of it is super useful. You can find new podcasts with a search button, which, that's not something I do all the time. You can go to the main page of your podcast, but that's a default you get to if you just tap the icon. But the last one is useful. The second to last one here first is you can go straight to new releases. And that's a feature I didn't ever notice in Pocket Cast. So that's cool. So it shows you the latest releases from all of the podcasts you already listened to. But the most useful option is you can just hit play or pause on the last podcast to which you were listening. That I have done a bunch of times since I discovered it in writing this up. Now, I've only just described the first page of my apps, and I realized this is going to be too long for one post. I think I'll take a break now and come back to this maybe next week. A lot of people have been leaving me tips on in our Google Plus community and on Facebook and in email and comments on the blog of other things they do with 3D Touch, and I'm going to be talking about those next week as well. There are so many unique ideas developers have come up with for 3D Touch. I think it's interesting to see what they've come up with and how maybe 3D Touch is more useful than you thought it would be. Breath. Hi there. Did you want in the kitchen to get to the beer or anything?
No,
Or you guys got it.
Sort of.
Well, I got mine okay. Oh, George leaving. Bye, George. Thanks for the poster. That was great.
Can I get you a drink?
Actually, I'm okay. I've got a Longfin lager. One of the nice things about having your son-in-law work for a brewery is if there's anything wrong with the packaging, you get free beer. So these didn't actually have pull tabs. So Steve had to.
The hammer and the screwdriver came in nicely. But once you break through that tab, it just peels right back.
I actually took a screenshot, Lindsay, before I handed off Forbes. I got a picture of me and Forbes in front of the camera and Mike, except Steve's in the background punching in my my beer.
That's great. Cheers.
Cheers. You didn't get a beer.
I know. Yeah, you're right. Good point.
You came all the way in here forgot to get it. All right. Actually, I think. Let's see. In fact, Lindsay came up with one. I forget what it was though, Steve. Let's see what Lindsay's is.
From contacts. For 3D touch.
Yeah, what was it?
From contacts, I couldn't add a contact who got a missed call.
Oh, she had a missed call, and the add to contacts is not available anymore. But if you 3D touch on the number, it says add to contact. That's crazy. All right, let's see. Where am I? That'll be in next week's show, but you got a preview. Terry's leaving us. Running through the brewery with a Sharpie marking up. Oh, Lindsay, you got to hear this when you come back. That's great, John. Let's see. Oh, what the heck?
What's up?
Oh, I have two versions of this. That's nice. John Nassanut that gave Forbes the bear. He just wrote, I can just picture Allison running through the brewery with a Sharpie marking up the cans and bottles to get free ones.
Exactly.
I have two versions of this. That's really handy. So this is the real one. I've been looking at the wrong one. It's getting confusing. Okay, preview here. Here we go. It doesn't matter. All right, here we go. Let's see. I think we want to be. All right, let me know when you're done, Linz.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Who else snuck in? Can't believe this is working. I hope it comes out loud enough. It's really low.
Rose snuck in. Did you
Rose?
See? Yeah.
I thought Rose was here.
Oh, well, maybe I just saw her come in.
It's always worth saying hi to Rose twice. Hi, Rose. Well, Nuris is one of our newest members of the Facebook group. If you guys are in the Facebook group. Oh, Mark snuck in.
Yes, I was about to mention that.
It's too bad he missed all the anarchy. He would have enjoyed making fun of me. All right, here we go. I'd like to take a moment to thank the 28 patrons who signed up to pledge a little bit of money each week to represent the value they get out of the NosillaCast. I really appreciate the support. Patreon makes it easy to support your favorite shows. You set up a donation amount for every new show that comes out. Now, I figured the math would get really complicated if I did it for the NosillaCast and Chit Chat Across the Pond. You'd have to divide by 8 and stuff, and it's actually 4.3 shows a week if it's only one show. So anyway, I decided to make it only the NosillaCast that triggers a payment through Patreon. If you find value in the show and you'd like to help demonstrate your support, please head over to podfeet.com/Patreon and sign up to help the show.
So Alistair wishes you congratulations on your 600th show. He's not watching video because he wants to make sure that he can hear the afterquakes.
Oh,
and take appropriate cover. Well,
hear them?
Hear, feel, get the warnings.
Pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention.
Yikes. Okay. It is now time for okay. Now where do I keep my I know I'm at my regular place, but where is my gotta go get my music for security bits. Where did I put those? I put those down in here. I have still not got a real smooth. Let's see, DJ Cold War. There it is. Can I drag straight into here? That would be interesting. The plus button has disappeared. That's interesting. Oh, look at that. Wow. I can drag straight from the Together app is where I put the GarageBand jingles, my jingles from the show, and I was able to just drop them, just drag and drop right from there. That is crazy. All right, let's do security bits needs to be on the other side of that. So you need to be not the HTML, silly. And this audio is going to be really loud. Thank you, David. Oh, David Roth, you were just talking about Together. That was an example where I collected all the audio files that used to be part of GarageBand. When I gave up GarageBand, I put them into Together. I was able to just do a search in Together and drag those right into my audio editor. So that was pretty cool. Ah, he left. He was just asking me about that. Well, now this is interesting. Huh. The audio for Chit Chat is also very low. Wow, that is really interesting. All right, let me plus in on that. Why would the audio be so low on something I pre-recorded? That doesn't make any sense. I didn't say to do that. Definitely did not tell you to do that. Maybe Dan knows why. All right, let's hear how that sounds. And sign up to help the show. Wait, Timothy Gregoire is here? Timothy, how are you? Haven't talked to you in forever. It's your travel audio. Yeah, but Denise, what I just dropped in was audio I recorded at home. And it's also the waveform's really teeny. I mean, it sounds clean, but it's really teeny. All right. And sign up to help the show. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Bouchatz. Okay, that was probably really loud to you guys.
The intro music was the loudest.
Yeah, I bet it was. Because if you're saying I'm loud, that was really loud. Actually, I'm going to go here. I'm going to drag that up. Let me make sure. I got to do it at the ends too. There you go. And that one. Shouldn't mess with this like this, but I'm going to anyway. Let's see. What could possibly go wrong? So Tim is here. That is so exciting. You're like a grown-up man now. Are you still in you're still in college, right? Timothy's been buddies with us forever. This is very exciting. Timothy, did you hear where Steve and I are grandparents? Pretty exciting to us anyway. All right.
Third year for Timothy.
Third year.
Yeah. Wow. Time is moving along.
That is crazy. That is just crazy that you're a third junior in college. That's nuts. Actually, they call them third year now, right? Because you never know when college ends. That happened.
Okay, well, whatever it is, in whichever segment I appear next, until then, stay patched and stay secure.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to wind up this 600th episode. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. Follow me on Twitter at podfeet. And remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com/something, podfeet.com/Patreon, podfeet.com/Facebook, podfeet.com/Google+, podfeet.com/Amazon. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show like Tim Gregoire did after having been gone forever and ever, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Whew. All right. Now, where's the music?
So Dean just messaged me.
What did he say?
He said you did have an effect on him after all. He bought the Apple TV 4.
Oh, good. Good. That's excellent.
It wouldn't be quite the same if we visited and he didn't make a purchase after before you left. But he did this one afterwards.
It's pretty funny. He let's see, what did he just
So
picked it as a
might want to explain to the people who Dean is.
Oh, Dean and Suzanne are good friends of ours that we met at a bed and breakfast 100 years ago. It was actually on our 20th wedding anniversary. And we get together every couple of years now and hang out. And I managed to always make Dean buy something. In fact, I don't think he even used the Mac before I got a hold of him. So I think it all the real people to blame was his company gave him an iPod as a sales gift, and that was sort of the beginning of the end. And now he says he makes all of his friends and family use them too.
Don't we call that the entry-level drug?
It used to be, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Now is it the iPhone?
Yeah, what is it these days?
Probably the iPhone.
Stay patched and stay secure.
Well, that's going to wind up at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Yeah, you're right, Rose. It could be we'd end up in San Diego. We sort of feel like it happens to everybody in our family. Steve's mom and dad are down here. My mom and dad moved down here. My brother moved down here. Actually, 2 of my brothers lived down here at some time or another. So, yeah. What was I going to ask? Dean was on an episode when we were in Chicago for MacStock. Remember, Steve?
I don't. Oh, audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You did a little short segment.
Oh, in fact, that was good memory, Dan. That was the topic, was how much we make him buy stuff. He gave this long litany of everything that it had cost him. All right. I think we are done. You know what? Lindsay Nolan can come back in if he wants. All right. Let's see. I need to. So what was this DirecTV thing? What happened? Oh, wait, you're moving to Chicago. Oh, when you graduate. Okay. Neat. DirecTV is coming out with a streaming service and you get an Apple TV free if you sign up for 3 months. Interesting. So, and is it right? AT&T owns DirecTV now? By the way, little known fact, DirecTV was invented at Hughes Aircraft Company, which was the company Steve and I worked for. No contract. Yeah, satellite's kind of lame, but what are you going to do? All right, sound bounce track. No, yes, no. Sound bounce document to new file. There it is. AT&T. Yeah, you know, one thing a lot of people are getting confused by is AT&T is buying Time Warner, but they think that means AT&T is buying Time Warner Cable, and Time Warner Cable is being bought by somebody else. Lindsay will know. It's is it Comcast? I think. Steve, is Lindsay in there with you?
No, she's not, but I could ask.
Okay, but maybe somebody else knows here. All right. Wow, this is interesting. I just want to show you guys something. This is kind of interesting. I'm going to share. This is Amadeus Pro. So you see how tight together the waveform is here, and see how far apart it is here. That's Ron David speaking in that dramatic cadence, and this is me talking like this, talking really, really fast. I talk every sentence goes together. So if I play right here.
We still have the topside evaporator to run, so we do have some supply. That unit has been
Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Oh yeah, the show is an hour. All right, save as. This is going to be AIFF, and this is going to be NCEP. Go. You can knock on the window and let Nolan come indoors, or should I go let him in? Because I'm not recording anymore. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it, Mark. Oh, it's not me anymore. I'm glad you liked it. That was really, really important to me. I really enjoyed doing. It just meant a lot to me to do that. It was funny when it was done. I had no idea that it would be only 15 minutes long. I mean, I would have told you that it was like an hour and a half. I mean, I just had no idea that it was that short. It was pretty interesting because it's so big in my world, you know. Let me hang on. I'm gonna grab off the mic and just tell Nolan he can come in. You can come back inside. Nolan, where are they? Oh, we're done. Yeah, we're done recording. Yeah, you can do anything you want now. You can let the dogs in. Who let the dogs out?
You might want to tell them you're still broadcasting.
Oh yeah, we are still broadcasting. You do want to know you can be heard, but I don't care if you're heard. You might care if you're heard. Did you want to be on the on camera, Nolan?
No, I don't.
No, he doesn't.
Thank you, though.
He thanks us for the opportunity. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to produce the show, and then we're going to go get a little chow after this. So I really appreciate all you guys coming. Happy 600th, and we'll see you at 700, if not sooner. Oh, is Tesla there? Sandy wants to see Tesla, Steve.
All right, let's let the dogs in.
Maybe Nolan can let them in. Those poor things.
I'll let the dogs in.
All Dodger was doing was licking me, but I was not in the mood when Forbes was screaming. All right. Oh, holy cow! Here they go. There we go. There we go. Hey, Tesla.
Okay.
Tesla. Oh, there you are. No, I got it right here. I got it right here, Steve. Hi. Oh, jeez. Hang on. There we go. There we go. Tesla. Dodger. There's Dodger. He's a little harder to see in this lighting. All right, we got our Tesla camp done. There's no kittens this week, I'm afraid. So those collars are another reason they had to get out. All right, guys, thanks for coming. It's a show not like anybody else's, that's for sure. Yeah, they were stuck outside. All right, we'll see you guys. Bye. Say goodbye, Steve. I don't think he has his headphones on. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Gracie.